Hey, welcome back to Just Another Land Cruiser. Welcome back, guys. Not a lot is getting done lately. The weather has been pretty shitty, and when it is nice, I've actually kind of gone camping one night, and it's just been nice. I've been kind of enjoying the weather before it gets too hot. What I have done is I did stab in the transmission last night. I was hoping it was going to not be as hard with the transmission, with the cab not in the way, but it still took me like the better part of an hour to get this thing. It's always that last like inch that's always kind of hard to stick that thing in. I did put the bolts in just to kind of line it up, and then you just kind of wrestle it, and then the last, like, I don't know, quarter inch I snugged in with the bolts. Everybody says don't bring it in with the bolts, so I didn't, but that last like quarter inch I just didn't have. I don't know if the wheels on the stand were just kind of caught, but it wouldn't go in, but I literally was finger tightening the bolts and it was pulling it together, so it wasn't binding up, wasn't doing anything bad. So there I am. That is about, literally, I feel like that's the only thing I've done in 2 weeks. I do have, there is a brand new clutch in here. I got my Slave. This is the way the Dodge works, it's a Slave, and everything comes pre-bled, which kind of sucks when you just want to install one piece and then now you got all this dangly crap in the way. So I have the reservoir zip tied here because when it was dangling it was actually leaking, which was making me mad. And then, so this is a weird deal. This is, Dodge uses, their master cylinder is a push and twist to lock it into the firewall. So I gotta figure out a adapter plate to do here. Another thing, I started putting in my pedals here. So wanted to make sure I got my master. I'm kind of working on that today. Work on the adapter. Accelerator is in. The brake was in. I took it out. As you can see, I had to fix that. That was basically just a hole. It had been, the pedal actually pulled that out. So I welded in. I use these little weld nuts. Got plenty of thread, and they just make a hole and push it in and weld around the outside. It actually worked pretty good. I mean, it's a shitty weld, but it's strong and it fits. The pedal fits back in there. I'm fine with that. All right, so working on adapting Dodge master cylinder to Toyota Firewall is kind of interesting. So let me show you what I got here. Alright, so here is the master cylinder. I don't know if you can see that, but you can see how it's kind of square where it mounts. So it's meant to push in, twist to lock it, and then it stays there. I've never seen the Dodge Firewall, so I don't know how that is. I thought about going to the pick and pull and just cutting out the Dodge Firewall and trying to make an adapter, but I had some scrap aluminum and jigsaw, and it worked. So here's what I got. I got 3 pieces of aluminum. This one goes on first. You can see it's kind of square. It'll come through there and then twist the lock. And then this one goes over that as the spacer. And then this one, the round part, that goes to the firewall. So basically why I have 3 is since, here, let me put one on and I'll show you here. Alright, so here's the first piece, and that's where you can see how it twists and locks in there. And then to make up that space there between the second one, I have this one. Slips on like that. And that one takes up the space left over from the part that twists and locks. And then the last piece goes on like that. all together, they make a square peg round hole type situation, but it all clamps together into the firewall and holds it pretty damn tight. I can't move it once it's sandwiched in there. And the way Toyota does it, there's one stud out and then one bolt that goes through and a nut on the other side. So it makes it pretty easy to adapt, not much. The Dodge unit is a single unit. It comes bled already. All this is just in a box, so I got to figure out how to mount it on the firewall, and then I will have to figure out some way to mount that. I got it just kind of zip tied up here for the moment and go from there. Another thing that I brought, so my turbo, missing here. I had the grand scheme over the weekend to rebuild it. I have rebuilt the turbo before, it's not that bad, but got 3 bolts off, the 4th bolt broke, and then 5th and 6th bolts I stripped trying to get them out. So I called it quits. Took it into the turbo shop and told them, hey, if you can get this apart, rebuild it. If not, if you have a core laying around that you can make work with a rebuild, great. Just keep me whatever the price for a rebuild. I don't want to pay too much more than that on a used item. So they called back and said, yeah, this thing's toast. We can't get it apart either. We don't have a core. New ones are about $2,200. And a reman's still $1,200. Now you can get some new rebands online for about $900, which that's still not in my budget right now. I would have to skimp somewhere else. So I'm debating right now. I'll look on eBay, maybe find a used one that I can rebuild. That's where I'm at. Not a lot going on right now, just waiting on parts as they come in. I put them on, and the weather's nice, so I've been kind of driving the 80 a lot. Took it up to our Land Cruiser Roundup, which is our local Land Cruiser event here. Did great. But yeah, so that's where I'm at. Hopefully next video I have a little more good stuff for you. I do want, once that transmission tail housing shows up, I can put fluid in the transmission and then start it up. So I got that going. So hopefully next video is a startup video. But yeah, so subscribe to the channel, give me a like, be ready for the next video, and hopefully it'll start moving a little quicker for you guys. Thanks for watching, and I will see y'all next time. Thanks.